Hello friend, and welcome to the slowest sim driving channel on YouTube. We return to Gran Turismo Sport, and it's another Controller Wars episode. This time, it's a bit of a special controller. As you can see, I have a green edition PS1 DualShock controller. Yeah, we're going to be taking this around the Nordshliefe, see if we can tackle some of those more modern controllers with it. So what do we need to know? I'm about to go onto my cycle lap. So the first thing I'll talk about is the fact this controller does not have analog triggers, which means, you know, the rules say we have to go with the triggers, and without traction control, we are all on or all off, just like we were with the keyboard. The only saving grace with that is that, well, two saving graces actually. One, that we've got the analog steering, which is really cool. That allows us to really be more accurate than we were with the keyboard. And also, it's a very short throw on the triggers, which means we can feather, and as you can see just there, we can correct far more easily than we could with the keyboard. Now obviously you can't just go plugging a DualShock 1 into a PS5 as I've done. So I'll tell you how I've managed to achieve this. It was a bit more awkward than it was with the PS4, but that's okay. So first of all, I'm running the game through PlayStation Remote Play. Nice bit of air there, and overcooked that. Yes, I'm running it through PlayStation Remote Play. We've got the controller itself plugged into a cheap PlayStation 1 to USB adapter, which is great, but in itself isn't enough. That's too fast. The adapter is then plugged into a Titan 1, and that's to handle any kind of compatibility issues I had with ReWAS, the software I'm using to remap it, because ReWAS wouldn't actually read it as a controller. ReWAS converts the signal into what the PlayStation believes, at least what PlayStation Remote Play believes, is a DualShock 4. So that's an awful lot of messing around there just for this one video. But of course it's for science, so it's all good. If you've been watching the previous videos, you'll know that there are some massive discrepancies in the actual times I've sat on different controllers, which is very interesting in itself, because you would think that all controllers were more or less equal. That's the way it works right there. They're all designed to be equal, but they're not. So what I was wondering was, these old controllers, are they more fit for purpose than some of the newer controllers? Okay, certainly a little bit of confidence with it, but then, you know, when we get to the slower stuff, that's when the confidence goes. I'm never quite sure when it's safe to get on the throttle without spinning it. Even if I push my socks off, it's going to be a slow lap, and that is all down to the triggers. Sure, I could use the right stick for throttle, but that's not how you do it. I could use the right stick for throttle, but that of course goes against the rules of this series. As you can see from the coast there, I've had some real issues getting the power down. The left stick, which of course is my preferred steering stick, as is common, it's very, very light, and I'm not sure if that lightness is a characteristic of this joypad, or if that lightness is down to the fact that the controller is so old that the centering spring is deformed. And there you go. This is going to be our flying lap. This is the one. I've got it. I can feel it in my jellies. This is going to be a good lap. It's not, is it? It's going to be a really bad lap. But okay, we're going to give it a go. We'll do what we can with it. Obviously, it's going to be hard to do a worse lap than we've just done. I could try and do a worse lap, I suppose. Oh, just those micro corrections. You know, you probably don't realise you're doing it, but when you brake in the Gran Turismo games, you're modulating that brake pedal just ever so lightly coming off with your left finger, and you can't do that with this. You can feather it, but unfortunately This game just isn't designed for that. It's not designed for you to come completely off the throttle and then back on again. And also, this is a very powerful car, so when you're suddenly coming off the throttle and go back on again, you're suddenly spinning the wheels up very hard. Okay, we're 7 seconds up. Let's try not to make such a hash of it. Let's be a bit more gentle over here. Good. Whoa! What on earth? As soon as we hit the camber on the road there, the locked wheels were like, nah, man, I'm going sideways. See ya. But we're up on the previous time, so this is it. This is our lap. Our push lap is the golden lap today. Oh, don't push too hard though, Grandpa. There we go. If you see any interesting controllers that you think might be good for this series, I've got some very interesting controllers. I might already have the ones you suggest, but hit me up down in the comments, and I'll have a go at trying to get them. So the first thing I'll do is I will hit up my preferred hardware supplier, Button Bashers, the channel sponsor. Check out the link in the description for PCs, consoles, peripherals, games and retro gear. And also, and we'll need to be saying a big thank you to the Patreons, or Patreon at this point, but if you want to join that Patreon and get your name on the credits at the start of the episode, the link is in the description. Okay, sorry about that. That was all very me trying to concentrate going around those corners. It's that technical bit. If you've been watching this series already, then you know this is it. I'm in that bit of territory where I can never remember which corner's coming. I know there are corners involved here. I can never remember which order they come in though, because I'm a bit old. Perhaps that's why I'm starting to enjoy oval racing more. You know, there's only 2 corners to remember, and that suits me just fine. Well, we are up on the previous lap, as we'd hoped we would be. Oh, we're motoring now. Really motoring. Oh. Alright, car, steady on. So, just like me, this controller's a relic. It wants to hang with the big boys, but sometimes it just can't keep up. But we're still going, we're still pointing in the right direction at the moment. Couldn't keep the speed up through that corner. Come on, car. Oh, took that all wrong. Come on. That's it. Yes. Alright. So I think I'm kind of getting used to the feathering thing now. It's one of those skills that you actually lose. I think that having analog triggers, it spoils you a little bit. I remember when they first came out. When was the first time I used an analog trigger? It was probably on the 6-axis. And it was just like, wow. What is this? I can be really accurate. Ooh. Now we go back to not having that technology, and it's almost like using a wheel that's got no force feedback. You're hampered by the lack of a sense, perhaps, or just the lack of something your muscle memory has become so used to. Oh, we're all right. We're going off road a little bit, but apart from that, we're all right. We're keeping the car pointing in the right direction, which is better than nothing. Because I shouldn't really say that, and you know, commentators curse the entire run. You get round there. I was considering putting some brakes on there, but I didn't want to spin it. Same there. just try and carry out as much speed as possible. Not just to keep the time up, but also so there's less accelerating to do, but sideways there. Because when you're accelerating around the corners, that's when you're really in danger with digital triggers. Whoa, bit of fishtailing. Did manage to catch it. Alrighty then. We're almost home. Almost. Let me know in the comments, by the way, how the view of the controller looks. I'm using a new camera. I've left the C920 now as a base cam. I'm starting to use the DJI Pocket 2 more. So let me know if the inlay with the controller looks okay. I've dropped it to 30 FPS just to make life a little bit easier for my my editing software. Oh, did we manage to get it stopped? Amazing! Wow! Get in! And the time is abysmal. You know, we're over 7 minutes. That's pretty awful. Let's just park it there. 7:12. So what have we learned today? What have we learned today? Well, the controller, you know, it didn't set any kind of records. But it was still there. Technology has moved on. The time was comparable, previous runs that we've had. I mean, it wasn't like I was doing donuts and unable to get around corners and that kind of thing. Maybe enough practice with digital triggers and you can get the hang of it. Who knows? Maybe I should use the stick if I was racing seriously. For my throttle, one thing I could do. But of course, we're sticking to the rules, trying to keep things consistent across the board. The weight of the controller and the way it fell to my hand was probably the highlight of this video for me, because, you know, the PS1 controllers, they're like old friends. We could use the original PS1 controller, of course, with the no analog sticks on it. But the last one of those that I had actually broke, so I don't have one of those right now. Maybe if I pick one up. But yeah, it's like an old friend. There's so many hours I've spent with this controller, not just playing Gran Turismo, but other racing games as well, like Ridge Racer, Type 4, for example. Even other games, Final Fantasy and such like. Hours and hours spent with the DualShock 1. You know what? It didn't go well today, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the trip down Muscle Memory Lane. And thanks for joining me on that trip. Thank you to my Discord, my Patreon, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, be good to yourself, be good to those around you. Bye bye for now.